Good morning, everyone. I hope I'm audible. Many years back, there was a man who had a very unique problem. This guy wanted to play cards, very eager to play cards, but at the same time, he also wanted to eat. So he didn't want to stop playing, but he also wanted to continue eating. So how do you do both? So he came up with a brilliant idea of creating what we today know as sandwich. So in one hand he was continuing to play, and on the other hand he was continuing to eat. So imagine this man invented a new item, a food item, simply so that he can continue following his passion, what he loved to do, without taking a break. All of us obviously know how sandwiches are so convenient for us, isn't it? Tomorrow, when you eat a sandwich, I'm sure you'll remember this story. That's how powerful stories are. Behind everything that happens to us in our life, there is a story. Many years back, when I was graduating from my engineering college, obviously I was excited to be an engineer, but I realized there is something else that I have which I find as my passion, and that's what I call as being a storyteller. Stories have solid impact in our lives. Each and every one of us have lived, grown hearing stories, isn't it? I remember when I was small, my grandmother used to tell me stories. Every night when I would sleep beside her, hearing stories from her. And I was fascinated with the world of stories. And I always felt, if only everyone could hear stories like this, life would be so beautiful. Little did I realize that as I grow up, I will actually pursue an entire life, an entire career based on exactly that. You might be wondering, why am I telling you all this? Let me tell you all a story to help you understand what I do. This story is a story that all of you know probably. But I'm going to share with you all the same story that you all know in multiple layers. Let me tell you the story and then we'll have a discussion. The story is from the very famous Panchatantra. I'm sure all of you have heard of the word Panchatantra, right? Here is an amazing story from the Panchatantra. There was once a monkey that lived on a tree. And this monkey loved eating berries of this tree. All day it would eat berries. One day the monkey saw below there was a crocodile that had come to rest below the tree. So the monkey thought, it's my guest, so let me feed him some berries. So he threw some berries into the mouth of the crocodile. The crocodile loved it. He said, can I have some more? And the monkey threw more berries into the mouth of the crocodile. And the crocodile ate more, and soon they got talking. Very soon, the monkey and the crocodile became friends. They began to connect with each other. They began to bond with one another. And every day the crocodile kept coming there, and the monkey kept feeding the crocodile, and conversations would happen. One day, the crocodile's wife, she had a doubt. She started thinking, where is this guy going every day, disappearing for so many hours? So she asked him, where do you go? So he said, I found a new friend, and I spent a lot of time with him, conversing and eating berries. This lady, she had a lot of suspicion. So the crocodile, next day, he got back a bunch of berries for her. The crocodile's wife ate the berries, she loved them. And suddenly she had a thought. She thought, if the monkey is eating so many sweet berries, imagine how sweet his heart will be. Now what a story to tell after a heart surgeon speaks this, right? The crocodile's wife said, I want to eat the monkey's heart. The crocodile was really puzzled. He said, he's my friend. How do you say this? How can I bring his heart? The crocodile's wife gave the ultimate statement that any wife can tell the husband. She said, if you love me, then you get me the monkey's heart. The crocodile now had no choice. He went back to the monkey And he told the monkey, today, instead of sitting here and talking, why don't we go for a joy ride into the river? So the monkey jumped on the back of the crocodile and they swam right in the middle of the river. And while they were in the middle of the river, the crocodile decided, I need to tell him the truth because I can't, just let him die like that. So he said, see, this is not a joy ride, this is your last ride. The crocodile told the monkey, my wife wants to eat your heart. So I have no option but to take you there. The monkey immediately realized he has no time, he has to act fast. He instantly thought of an idea and he said, oh, you should have told me. I kept my heart on the tree. Probably the technology that sir was talking about existed, The monkey's heart was on the tree. And the crocodile was puzzled. He was really bewildered because the wife was very particular that she wants to eat the monkey's heart. So the crocodile was confused and the monkey said, don't worry, let's just go back and we'll get my heart and then we'll go to your house. The crocodile turned around, they reached the tree, the monkey jumped up and reached on top of the tree, and then from top of the tree, he quoted a Sanskrit verse. He said, Dadati pratigrinati, guhyam akhyati prichati, bhungte bojayate chaiva, shadvida priti lakshanam. Now if you're confused what this means, let me explain. He said, there are 6 things that are needed to make people feel connected closely. Priti lakshanam means develop meaningful, deep relationships. So the monkey said the 6 things that are needed to make deep, meaningful relationships are: first, dadati pratigrinati, which means giving gifts and accepting gifts. Second, guhyam akhyati prichati, means revealing your heart in confidence and hearing the other person's heart in confidence. And then bhungte bojayate chaiva means inviting your friend to eat and you going to their house to eat. These are 6 ways in which loving exchanges happen. These are 6 ways in which bonding happens over people. Now this monkey told this to the crocodile and he said, these 6 loving exchanges are meant to be done between people who are like-minded. The question is, are we like-minded? The monkey said, no, we are not like-minded because you think differently and I think differently. We can't be friends. This story is a beautiful story, it's a fun story, right? I tell the story to kids who are in school, small kids, they love it because the story is so funny and hilarious. I tell the same story to youngsters, and when I'm telling to youngsters, I talk to them about the importance of friendship. I tell them, what is the meaning of keeping the heart on the tree? Can you ever do that? We can't. But keeping the heart on the tree simply means that you leave your heart or you keep your heart where you feel safe. The question is, with whom do you feel safe? And how do you develop loving relationships? So now, if someone just follows these 6 things in their lives, you can develop deep bondings. And I'm sure all of us understand the importance of relationships, right? And all of us understand the importance of relationships where your heart feels safe. Not everyone makes your heart feel safe. There are some people that make your heart feel unsafe by their comments, by the way they speak, by the way they treat you, all that. And the same story when I go to a corporate, when I'm speaking to some of these really top-notch corporates like Google or Microsoft, Amazon, I tell the same story. But I tell this in the corporate context. And I'm going to help you all just see the context and how the same story has different impacts. When I talk to the corporates, I talk to them about the circle of safety. The role of a leader is to create a circle of safety for the people that he or she is leading. When the leader creates a circle of safety, the person is most creative. For example, in the olden times when people live in jungles and obviously there was a lot of environment that was dangerous, isn't it? There could be an animal that attacks you, there could be weather that destroys you, there could be cold and heat that you're dealing with, a forest fire. So many dangers are there and you have to protect yourself from all these dangers. That's why people started living in communities. When they live in a community, the easy part is that you can sleep and be rest assured that somebody will save you if there is a forest fire. Somebody will wake you up if an animal attacks. So these are the advantages of being in a community. So now the same context, if you look at it in the modern world, a corporate environment, you go to a company to work. And when you work in a company, obviously, one of the things that you look for is circle of safety. Your team is supposed to be a circle of safety. Your company, your organization itself is supposed to be the circle of safety. Your team members are supposed to make you feel safe, and the leader is supposed to take charge of you feeling safe. But you know what the funny thing in many organizations today is? The funny thing in many organizations today is that people feel more unsafe with people around them. The person sitting next to me could be going to backstab me. So I don't feel safe in the environment in which I am. I don't feel safe in the organization in which I am. I don't feel safe in the team in which I am. How can I cooperate? You tell people to trust and cooperate, but if you don't make them feel safe, they are not going to trust and cooperate. So in any leadership role, one of the things that you have to ensure is where people feel safe. And that's a circle of safety this monkey is talking about. When he says, my heart is on the tree, means that's the place where I feel safe. All of us, we live in homes. And at home, we feel safe because our heart feels safe there. But when you go to a corporate world, Monday to Friday, you work. How do you feel on a Friday night? You know, most people on a Friday night, they feel joyful. And you ask them, how do you feel on a Monday morning? Miserable. Why? Because somewhere the Saturday, Sunday that we spend in a place where our heart feels safe. Where we feel happy, we feel comfortable, we feel safe. And then you move to a place where your heart doesn't feel safe, you're just waiting for that week to end somehow, you know. Now, I shared with you all one single story, and I shared with you all three different perspectives of looking at the story. For children, the story is fun. For youngsters, the story is giving deep, meaningful relationships advice. And for corporates, it is giving you a totally different dimension of looking at leadership. This is the exact same thing that can be done with any story. What I have been doing in the last so many years is I have decided to enlighten this world with stories. And I feel human beings best absorb through stories. You may not remember data, you may not remember analytics, you may not remember statistics, you may not remember so many philosophical details, but you'll remember a story. The human brain is wired to absorb stories. All of you are in the world of management, and you're going to set out to do marketing, you're going to set out to create products, you're going to set out to run companies. My request and suggestion to all of you all is that if you really want to make a change in this world, if you really want to make an impact in this world, learn to become a storyteller. Because human brains are best when they hear stories. Human brains work best when you connect with emotions of people. Through stories, you can touch people's hearts. Through stories, you can hit the brain almost at every corner of the brain. So if you are only focusing on data and statistics, you will hit one corner of the brain. If you're talking about certain types of concepts, you will hit another part of the brain. But the moment you tell a story, you're actually covering the whole brain completely. And more than anything else, stories are ways in which you can transfer information generation after generation. India is prominently a country of storytellers. I don't know how many of you all understand this, but every single epic that is there in our country is based on stories. Every single holy place that is there in our country is based on stories. In fact, every single monument that exists in our country is based on stories. Stories drive a country's culture. So if you really want to become impactful change makers in this world, my suggestion and request to all of you all is that absorb the idea of storytelling. Understand the importance of storytelling and learn to become expert storytellers. My journey and my story is simply a journey of moving from the technical world to the magical world of stories. I started with being an engineer, heavily technical, electronics and telecommunication. Then I went on to specialize in intellectual property law, patent law. Again, very analytical, field. So I did engineering, which gave me the understanding of logic, and I did law, which gave me an understanding of analysis. I combine those two things and I tell stories which are logically oriented as well as which are analytical and which touch hearts. I'm so grateful and happy to be here in this platform, and I'm hoping my little story of being a storyteller has inspired all of you to experience the magic of stories and learn to become powerful storytellers so that you can impact society and create powerful impressions in every field that you are a part of. Thank you very much.